Halloween?
So our last Invisible Person movie, I'll be honest, I just thought was okay, but like I told you, you can skip it. This one takes a bit of an action roll to it. It goes from comedy to action. This movie is definitely a World War II propaganda type film. The Invisible Agent from 1942 was directed by Edward L. Martin and released on July 31st, so it was released still pretty early on in the war. Jump right into our title screen. All right, no BS with this one today. We open with 3 deep ops. Well, they're Axis agents. But hey, at least it's Peter Lorre. We haven't had him on the show. This is the first time we've had him. He's a legend. He has a killer resume of movies, and I hope we get to more of them. He plays Baron Akito. And hey, look who's back again. Cedric Hardwicke. This guy hates invisible people. This is what, his second movie? This time he plays Conrad Stauffer. Hey, wait a minute. What if he never died at the end of Invisible Man Returns, and he was actually a German spy who faked his death to return to the fatherland because he knew about the invisibility stuff, so now he's sent back here to get... you know what? Never mind. No. Too deep. That's too deep. Never mind. Moving on. They track down this fella named Frank Raymond, played by John Hall, but his real name is Frank Griffin. He is the grandson of Jack Griffin from the first movie, so already we're kind of jumping back to the first movie. They think he has the same formula that his grandfather had, and they want it for evil. But does he give it to them? Absolutely not. He decides the Axis can't have it. So you know what? He gives it to the Allies. They want to send him over to Germany to seek out, what Germany's got planned for America. He says, I'm okay with that, but only I can go, because if this stuff fails, it should be on me and not someone else. Very noble. I like that. So he goes Solid Snake and drops behind enemy lines. His mission is to find out when this German sabotage attack is coming. He drops in over Berlin and, yeah, he kind of gets naked up in the air. I guess he's not scared of windburn. I would have waited till I at least hit the ground, but he meets up with Arnold Schmidt, played by Albert Baserman. One quick thing I noticed is he must have perfected the serum a lot farther along than his grandfather, because I remember in the first one, his grandfather had said, I can't eat when I'm on this because you'll see it in my stomach, but he's drinking coffee right there and we don't see it, so looks like he's got an updated version of it. We can kind of see his outline though, so unfortunately that still hasn't been fixed since the first movie. Schmidt tells him that his contact is Maria Sorensen. She's played by Lionel Massey. Frank happens to come and see her at a great time. She's having dinner with SS officer Karl Heinzler, and he's played by Edward Bloomberg, who is uber hot for her, but she's not into him. He's going to be our comic relief in this movie. You know, he knows nothing. During dinner, he pretty much almost gives up all the info that Frank needs, but freaks out and leaves. Frank and Maria get pretty familiar with each other, but he's got to put on some makeup so she can see him. Hey, it's goofy, but it works. Stauffer and Akito also return to Germany and discover a report of a vanishing paratrooper. Heinzler tells them he had a terrible dinner with Maria, and Stauffer wants to know more about this and pay her a visit. Unfortunately, Frank passes out on the couch. She's able to hide him, though, just as they walk in. This whole visit blows up in Heinzler's face. Stauffer says, hey, you tried to steal my job, and now you're trying to steal my lady. Well, you messed up, and it's off to jail for you. You can tell he's being sneaky here and saying he's got some secret plans in his office about the attack on America that's coming. Do you think Frank is going to fall for it? Well, unfortunately, he does. And at first, I thought Frank was wicked clever like the other invisible people, but he's just kind of, slick. He makes an arrow escape using a fire. with all the info he needs. He was able to get his hands on a book that has all the names of the German and Japanese agents living in America. He tells Schmidt, you gotta send this off to England because we gotta catch these guys. Akito finds out that the book has been stolen by the Invisible Man, and Stauffer pretty much tells him, hey bro, you know what? You can't be mad. You're on German soil. Sorry. Sort of. He says it a little more convincing than that. The SS does intercept a call from Schmidt and Maria about Frank. In the meantime, Frank goes to see Heiser. He still needs to get information on when the attack is coming and where it's going to be exactly. Heiser tells him all about it, and he says, you know what? I helped you out. How about you help me escape and get out of here, because they're going to shoot me anyways. So Frank says, sure, why not? Man, these Nazis are stupid. Unfortunately, the goose-stepping morons get to Schmidt, and he doesn't really tell him too much, but they definitely rough him up. When Frank returns to his shop, Maria is there. Frank kind of gets the vibe that she is working with the Reich, and she set him up. Actually, it's not the Nazis, it's the Japanese that are able to capture him. They use a giant net with hooks on the end of it to trap him. And, ow, that has to hurt. As they take him away, Heiser, he crawls back to Stauffer and calls him and tells him where they're taking him. Stauffer and his men crash Akito's party, and to sum this up, he's sick of his stuff, so he kills him. But then he kills himself. Maria and Frank get to the airport, and luckily she knows how to fly. And then Frank lets them have it on the ground. This is a massive body count right here, and I don't know how many guys get killed here, but it's a ton. Oh yeah, so with Stauffer dead, Heister thinks that he's running the show, but the joke's on him. So they get back to England. And guess what? She was working with England the whole time. Surprise, surprise. The end. Do you think they won the war? So again, this was definitely made at the beginning of the Second World War. Considering the movie is in English, I kind of wonder if Frank is actually speaking German the whole time. Does he know German? We never really know. I try not to think too hard with this one, but it's got a lot of questions with it, and I think that's why I like it. There's a little bit of comedy in this one, but it's not too heavy. Honestly, this might be my favorite one in the series. Next up is our final Invisible Man movie on Halloween, and it's going to be The Invisible Man's Revenge.